have enough faith for something to just, I can't do that.
And on that note,
I gotta decide to pay it.
I gotta decide.
So you just not paying taxes all?
No, I decided to pay my taxes and I paid my
That's
taxes.
crazy.
No, I do my taxes,
That's
so the
wild,
IRS
bro.
can't come for me. I did my taxes.
You're not gonna start the pot like that.
I did my taxes.
That's
I do my
reckless.
taxes. I'm just saying, if your bills are set up on auto pay,
Hey, man,
you
look.
have faith that like the money is there. And I'm not saying that I don't have that my money don't be there, but what I'm saying is that you have faith that the money is there, and then there's gonna be some left after. I feel like when you set your bills,
sometimes they give you a little like discount if you put it on auto pay. Like with my cell phone bill, they'll give you like little points and stuff. Like if it's on auto pay, so I'll be like, don't take that because I know y'all can have them little $88. Y'all can have that.
I'm not that big of an adult yet. I think I'm getting there. I think I'll probably be there soon. Next couple years. I probably could do it now. I just don't like it. I don't like the feeling of someone taking money without my permission.
Well, you get permission.
It's good permission.
Yeah, but it's not at one time. Yeah, but every month,
I feel
no.
like it's worse when you have to go in and say, okay.
The only one that made me mad is
Like, no,
Apple
just
Music.
take it. Don't. I just
Apple Music give me smoke.
Thank you for this.
I feel better going in paying. I feel responsible when I'm like,
Yes.
pay that bill. Let me pay this bill. Let me pay this bill.
I feel like I shouldn't be paying for
I
that.
don't pay it. Feel like I'm getting robbed. Cause you go look and it's just all of a sudden numbers. It's
No
just
lie.
it's going down. It's just going down.
Sometimes I do check my account and I see like, oh, they got. paid. I mean, I didn't think about it. It's like I'll do something else.
See, and I don't
That's
want
what I'm saying.
surprises when I look at
I
my
mean, I know
account.
it's like insurance or something. Like I know it's coming.
No.
Yeah, because I think that's the only thing that don't alert me before they take it out. Everything else will alert you, like my credit card
Insurance, Apple
bill
Music.
and my cell phone and stuff. They'll be like, you know, your monthly whatever. They'll send you that little text message,
That warning.
and I'll be like, okay, I know that.
I don't have
I know that's good,
I
but
have absolutely no idea what
my
it's
car
about.
note and my insurance, the only things that go out, and I'll be like, I know when it go out, so I just make sure the money is there.
I have
But
no
it
idea what
is
they
on
do.
auto pay because
I
I
just know
would
it's coming
forget.
out. I don't know.
I would never
You
go
just wake
online
up
to pay
and
it.
don't
Oh no, I don't
Yeah,
forget to pay bills, so I don't
They
be
gonna
worried about
auto
auto
pay
pay.
stuff, but I don't even know
So I
what
just
they
pay my
do.
stuff all when I, get
Yeah.
paid.
Get paid.
I just be
Yeah.
like, pay. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Get off my line.
Yeah.
But anyways, welcome back to another episode of Black Bougie and Bout It, where you get real, raw, and rich conversation. I am Ebony,
And I'm Jessica.
and we have guests today. We have Wescam,
And then y'all see it. You know what's going on.
and then we also have Jacob here, also known as Classified Alias. We spoke with them a couple weeks ago at the Be Heard Music Conference.
He is a fucking comedian.
This episode might be all over the place, y'all. I'm gonna try to keep it under control, but just work with us. But we met them a couple weeks ago. Well, we knew them, but we interviewed them a couple weeks ago, and I wanted them to come back to the show so that we could get more in depth and just talk to them because they have good conversation. They're very knowledgeable about
And
their
they're
artistry.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they're a time. So I wanted to bring them back so we could talk and just pick their brains about some things that are going on, about their careers and everything. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So just first kind of give a little bit of background. I would say tell people how you all got started with the music and the producing and everything, and then we can kind of dive deeper after that.
Yeah. So
Don't be sitting there looking like you don't want to say nothing.
yeah, you been.
Cat got your tongue there.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it might get hot and get quiet. But nah,
Right.
I started playing trumpet in the third grade, piano in fourth grade. Grew up heavy in church, still active, playing programs, things like that. And I took lessons every Saturday at the Jazz Hall of Fame, Carver Theater. And didn't like it as a kid because it was like consuming my life. I had school Monday through Friday.
And jazz ain't cool when you're a kid.
It's not.
It's not in the beginning, but it didn't take long for me to be like, nah.
Really?
Nah, it didn't take long.
As a kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Jazz is sexy to the girls some as a kid.
I mean,
Maybe I play, you know, I can.
Hey,
I didn't
look,
really talk about it. I was kind of like, I
Hey.
can run fast. So I was like, look how fast.
Hey,
I can run fast.
that jazz hit a little different. I'm trying to tell you.
Not when you 10.
Hey, look, but hey, get me out
Ain't
there.
no little girls on the playground like, oh, you sure do got
You
it.
feel me? You know what I'm saying? You know, hey,
Right.
You hit shorty with a little quick time. You feel me? Just
Right? No.
Hey,
Nah.
watch what I do.
No. Now maybe a nigga hit me with a little serenade. I'll be like, but not at 10. Not at 10.
10 years old.
10, I'm like,
babies is
the
wild.
fuck are you doing?
Like, what are you talking
Who the fuck do you live
That
with?
trash.
about? Now, I mean, granted, my parents. I know we were talking earlier off camera about how y'all parents had like older movies on.
Yes, yeah.
Mine was like the music. So a lot of my family had like I kind of love like funk and like 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Love it.
My
And so my parents had a lot of that playing, and so I just kind of got accustomed to listening to it.
Yeah.
Some of my first memories actually, my mom like singing those songs with my dad, like sitting me down, like the vinyl player. And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, this song is by X, Y, and Z, and it's about blah blah blah." Like being a kid and being like, "Oh, that's cool," you know what I mean? But I think all of that stuff, kind of guided me to do what I do now. You know, like music,
So what age did you start making beats? Producing. I don't know. Is making beats disrespectful?
Yo, that was a professional term. I see what you did.
No, not disrespect. Now there is a difference between a producer and a beat maker.
Okay.
They're
See, I don't know. Teach us something. Teach me, because I don't. Honestly, that's what I'm asking. I don't know. Okay.
Now at that time I was making beats because I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
You was on Fruity Loops. Is that what they call it?
I was on Fruity Loops.
I only know that because of Insecure. If Insecure never said shit about Fruity Loops, I wouldn't know shit about
I took a class in high school where they taught us how to make beats, and that was what the software.
Hey, wait. What high school you went to?
Ramsey.
I'm weak.
What does that mean?
You know.
What high school did you go to? In her
Hey,
business?
this not my segment.
No. Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Hey man, 256 stand up. You feel me? Hunts Vegas, Alabama. I know what
Lord.
time it is.
So
Quarter six.
we don't even know where he went. Okay. That's really what he's saying. We don't even
quarter
know where
six.
he
You make the
went.
quarter flip. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So Sparkman High School. You know what I'm saying? We hold it down. You know.
Where?
You know that. So you know what's crazy? Sparkman High School has a logo that is the exact same as the most inner city black school in Huntsville, but somehow we ended up with the Caucasian one, man. I don't know how we did it, man. But it's crazy. I was like, yo, I feel some type of way, man, because you know theirs like represents us. You know what I'm saying? All right, that's cool. You right. Hey man, thank y'all for coming out to the pod. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, thank you. Somewhere in the city. Okay, thank you. I mean, I grew up in Bessemer, but it's close enough.
What high school?
I went to Bessemer City for my freshman year, and they had this really bad riot where they maced the students, and my mom was like, "Oh fuck no!" So she yanked me out and then put me in Bessemer Academy.
So y'all was playing with pepper spray. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's when I graduated.
You played with pepper spray too?
No. I got some partners that went to school there.
It was really bad. It was on the news. Like, it was a food fight gone like horribly wrong. Yeah, it was the time.
I feel like that's an oxymoron, a food fight going wrong. I've never heard of a food fight going right.
Well, see, I say gone wrong because it did not end in the cafeteria. Like, the food fight then spilled out into the hallway, and then people started physically fighting, and then people started getting maced, and kids started throwing up. Yeah, like, because the food fight was like, again, it started off as a food fight, but then, you know, when you get hit in the eye with because they weren't throwing like bread and shit.
You're not rolling down that
like
Ramsey Hill.
You're
not fighting outside. You're gonna be rolling forever.
Whole tomatoes. Like, these niggas were going into the kitchen and getting produce and like chucking it at people. So imagine you in the cafeteria, you get hit in the eye with a damn orange. You ready to fight? Like, you're not trying to, like, so of course people getting hit, they wanted to fight, and then the dare or whatever the little security officers, they it's so many people fighting, they couldn't just go breaking it up, so they started macing everybody, and so it just turned into this literal riot of people just being out everywhere. So my mom was like, I'm a single mom, I ain't got time for this shit. So she was like, I want to just yank you out and put you in with the right folks.
I wonder what would make me more mad, that food fight or the fact that I'm still gonna have to go to school the next day and eat that same food. I wonder what made me more mad. Like, is this the same head of lettuce that I just like had to
No,
dodge?
it's definitely not the same head of lettuce.
Wild. Cause I can see that. Someone just picking it up and like, we gonna say it.
What if the budget just didn't allow?
You see what I'm saying? Like, we not wasting food around here.
They wasn't feeding us that much fresh produce here. So whatever they threw out probably was what they had for the week. I'm just gonna be honest. But this one was not that. We wasn't eating that good. Wow. But yeah. Okay. All right. And then what about you? So how did you, I know, because you do spoken word too, right?
A little bit.
So did it start off with the spoken word and then you transitioned into the music, or, you know, how did you, and I'm sure you've always been writing, but like, how did you get started?
Man, look, growing up in Huntsville, streets was cold. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you know, when you sliding through the 6, man, it's a hard time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep your windows tinted, windows up, doors locked. You feel me? So, you know, I'm in the back seat.
This is before or after you pass NASA.
Hey man, you know, hey look, when you get checked out of space camp, it's a
I was wondering. I was like,
you know what I'm saying? When you get that scoop up, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's dark outside.
That freeze drive food was hard, wasn't it? It was a tough life.
Dang.
Hey, you know how long it takes to microwave something? It's forever, man. It's a hard road.
You had a microwave
at space camp?
Hey, look, man. Hey, shout out to the Rocket.
Right.
Hey, man, shout out to the Rocket, man. We ain't taking no disrespect. No. Honestly, UAB botched my scholarship, and I just had time on my hands. That's really the only reason why I started rapping.
Wow.
Genuinely. It was like I was supposed to be a freshman in 2012. And I'm not gonna tell y'all what year I graduated because y'all not calling me old in public. But no,
it's not about when you finish; it's about finishing.
Hey, you heard that? You feel me? That's.
I mean, all of us was on the journey, and none of us get done.
Forget all that. I'm trademarking that phrase for anybody who want to know. Trademarking that.
I know that nigga sit down there. He ain't said shit.
Nah, because I don't want to be like, no, me. I was quiet, man. I mean, I ain't
gonna say no, but I am the smart nigga on the couch.
Nah, man.
I ain't gonna say. I mean, I don't want to rain on nobody's parade.
Oh, man.
Nah,
I'm done. You can't.
You're right.
Hey, look.
That's basically
If we just going by the clock, I mean,
Bro,
well, the rest of
I made it. You feel me?
I love it.
Nah.
I did.
teacher's pet over here. The rest of us was on a journey. You know,
he knew what he wanted to do.
yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nah, man. UAB botched my scholarship. I grew up around music because I was in Big Brothers Big Sisters. So shout out to my big brother Tim Pringle. He just kept me around music. But long story short, everyone around me was, of course, in high school making records and diss records and rapping about, you know, whatever girl is in middle school they probably shouldn't have been rapping about. And I'm just like, yo, if y'all got access to all these resources, I got a studio like down the street. I feel like I have 10 times more stories to tell. And most of them stem from how like music helped me out of a depression back in like early high school. Cause I was never really the one to really fit in the crowds. So it was kind of a rough time trying to figure out how to navigate that. So, you know, music helped me. I figured since I got time and clearly not going to school down south like I thought I was, might as well rap in my side time, right? And it just turned into something that I think I really had a passion for, and other people could kind of gravitate to. So
you started coming late, because you know a lot of people would be like, "Yeah, I wrote my first rap when I was 3 years old," but it sounded like you didn't really.
I was who Jay-Z was talking about. You know, there's somebody eating that cereal. 19. You know what I'm saying? And they writing some stuff. You feel me? That wasn't me. Nah. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
This nigga's like, man, I've been playing Xbox all day, man. I ain't got shit else to do. Might as well write a rap.
Nah, for sure. It found me. I was watching Netflix, and Netflix was hot, and I was just like, yo, everybody's making garbage records. Like, I feel like I actually got a story to tell.
That we gonna come out with an EP.
We should.
Because everybody else coming out with shit. We might as well drop a couple 4 songs.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you
something. See, this is why I brought him here. Y'all didn't know, baby. You bring people on your show so you can ask them for favors. So then you could be like, get us a beat.
Yeah, that's how the music started for
me. And then can you write me a hot 16?
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I never heard someone say a cold 16. What does a cold 16 sound like? You've been around.
They want from mid.
What's a cold 16? Is that mid?
Yeah, they want a decent. They don't want it to be too
depends on how
you ever seen like, oh, bro, that was a cold 16.
I mean, because you can say, nah, you cold.
Yeah, I'm like,
cold. Like when the nigga be like, oh yeah, she cold.
Yeah, you feel me? Like
that's better than she bad to me.
Yeah.
Like if I hear a nigga be like, ooh, she cold, I be like, that bitch
you was
finer than a motherfucker.
You a stone cold fox. You was talking about the 80s. Ooh, you was stone cold.
Cold is like, oh, she got.
Yeah, there's tiers to it.
Or like if you in New York, hey, shorty brick. For real.
Ain't nobody calling nobody brick.
Y'all mean?
Ain't nobody calling nobody brick. That sound like her ass hard. And I don't like
shorty mad bricks. You feel me?
Her ass hard.
Maybe she like a brick house. That's the only way I can explain it.
If a nigga tell me, baby, yeah, you brick, I'm gonna be like, the fuck?
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I just feel like that's too hard of a word.
Right? That don't sound sexy at all.
Hey, word to my Tims, you feel me? Like, nah, you ain't feeling.
You need to do stand-up comedy.
No, really.
Like, you're hilarious.
So let me see.
If the rap don't work, man.
If the rap don't work, you definitely could like do some jokes.
Thank you.
I would come see you.
I appreciate that.
They have a magnet over there at what's it called? You should do it.
Start on.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned.
Look, you know some people.
Comedy
album
coming
soon.
soon.
Go ahead.
I hate you.
So next question, because for you, we know kind of your name is Wescam. Artist name is Wes for the most.
For the most part.
Yeah.
For the most. I got a story behind it.
Okay, well then I'm gonna ask him first, and then we'll explore you because his is not as straightforward. Classified alias.
Music.
How did we get to this, or how did you come up with that? Because you could have just been Jacob, Jacob making beats.
Jacob making beats.
Yeah, it don't ring the same.
It don't, but
all you need is a fire drop and it would.
All you need is a white girl with a British accent. Jacob making Jacob.
Wait, hey.
Jacob making. I can't do British.
Do it. What's up?
Jacob making beats.
Nah, it makes sure we isolate that.
Jacob.
I'm gonna use it for a tag.
Jacob making
like
beats.
how on Twilight when she used to call Jacob.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jacob would be like that.
Yeah, send me the audio on this.
We'll do it. Look, 15%.
But yeah, so it's not like a crazy story. In context, I'm a very, very indecisive person.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what's your sign?
You believe in that?
Yes.
I'm an Aries.
I don't know that much about Aries.
Yeah.
Okay, but my rising is Aries, so I must identify. Continue.
I think I'm on the rise.
What's your sign? What is your sign, Wes? Because that would tell me a lot.
Sagittarius.
I don't know a lot about Sagittarius.
Hey, look at us.
I'm gonna look it up.
You neither.
Probably all over the place.
I'm just here.
I'm just me.
You feel me?
Living.
Yeah, hey man.
But yeah, I'm an indecisive person. So I was always late to social media. Like I didn't really care. Even like now, when you look at my social media, it's always just kind of like music, and I'm dipping. Like I drop some beats, drop some stuff, and I'm out. So I'm not really heavy on social media like that. But I was getting on Twitter, which Twitter is amazing now. But I was hopping on Twitter, and I was like, I gotta find like a cool name. I remember I was specifically like my sophomore year in college, sitting on King Quad, and I was like, I ain't got no name, like, and I was like, well, what if it's like a secret, like it's classified? And then like I gotta find an alias for it, and I was like,
I'm weird. This nigga's having a whole conversation.
It started just like a Twitter name, and then so when I finally started taking producing series, I was gonna be like, what is my name? Am I gonna be Jacob? Because all of my some of my favorite producers, I always went by like Kanye for real, and people like that. And so I was like, am I gonna be Jacob? But I don't want to be like my whole government out. So,
yeah, true.
And I was looking, and I was like, oh, I got classified alias. I'm gonna see how that works. And then I just started using it. Even like the tag, it's me saying it. It's like years ago, like me saying classified alias music. I pitched and adjusted it. And then
it works though. It works for you.
And then it just started working, and it became what it is. So I a crazy story. Like that was it.
Well, it was enough.
It worked. Yeah.
I feel like West Story. I know it's gonna take me on a roller coaster.
Because I'm from the West
back
Side or something shit.
Hey, wait a minute. Y'all finna pay me.
Why you let this man He said, "Girl, let me tell you, his name West and his middle name Cameron."
I had y'all hook, line, and sinker. The book was
I
coming
was
out.
ready. I was about to cry my tears because I knew it was a story.
He actually started as he used to scam a long time ago.
You feel me?
And it was a group. No, it was a group.
Yeah,
And it was actually We Scam, not Wescam. Like, look at it. It was space.
You really used to scam?
Yeah. He was in a group. It was a couple of them.
Should we be putting this on there?
It's
Who's
crazy.
for it?
Yeah, like y'all not paying taxes. Yeah, for
We
sure.
Scam.
It's all on the air. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, I went to London, right? And then we ended up going to London, and someone just pronounced it. Oh, what about Wescam? What about Wescam?
Wescam.
Wescam.
What about Wescam? I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's run that. You feel me? Let's run that. Nah, mine is super simple. I couldn't figure out what name I wanted to be because nothing in how I tried to configure my real name would work. So I said, okay, all these names are lame. And when I first started making the decision to do music, my aunts like supported it, but they always called me Wescam, and I hated it. I still hate the name today. I genuinely have a strong passion of hate for it because it's just like my first name and middle name like combined. But I always realized that I never really want to do music for just me. So I never wanted the credit or like the fame or anything like that to just reflect me. So I chose that name because I always want wherever I go or whatever headline or bill, that's a reflection of my family when they see it. I hate the name personally, but for them, it gives like the people who supported it from the jump an opportunity to say, oh snap, I used to remember him when he's a little Wescam. And I'm just like, ugh. But yes, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all.
He's saying that now until he famous on an autograph stand. It's like, oh my God, Wescam.
And then I'm out in England, and it's like, you know, I'm Wescam.
You'll be happy about it.
I'm Wescam.
Wescam.
You know? So,
Yeah, I seen Wescam.
Shout out to my peoples down in Florida.
So Wescam.
I was like, you want to go there?
And the Alias. I feel like that's such a spy name. I kind of like it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm also very like I'm under the radar. Like I'm an extrovert, but I'm quite like this stuff. Like I don't know know my name.
Real 007.
I think he's an extroverted introvert. Because I feel like he's one of those people when you meet him, he seems shy. And this is from when we met you. You seem shy, but then once you sit down and talk to him and you get him on the right subject, he's going to start talking.
Yeah, listen, I like to sit back and observe. I like to listen to how people act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that too.
Yeah.
You guys had a World Games performance. How did that come about? Wescam?
How did you all even, I guess, meet to work together?
Yeah.
You want that one? That's really
Because let's start there and then let's
your
get
bag,
to the World
sure.
Games performance. Like, how did y'all even cross paths, like musically or
you see how
as a
you heard how
friend
in depth that would
or
cross
anything?
paths.
How did you cross paths?
You know, but I be trying to use my journalism degree, y'all. I be trying.
You guys were in London and Wescam and
Hey, look, you know, I was on the PJ, and when we went across the water, you know, I met him, I saw his fit. Yeah, I was like, yo, that's a mad fit, son.
I saw bruv.
I saw bruv.
Bruv.
I saw Mandem. You know, hey, Mandem.
Somebody go back. One of them gonna be watching this and be like, "You bloody, you bloody."
Nah, I let him tell the story, man.
Actually, to be completely honest, the first time we met, I don't remember the initial.
We have that story confused.
Yeah. So
I feel like I remember the first time I met.
Tell your story, and then you can tell your story.
My version is a different story.
I mean,
mine I would have to tell.
I know his version.
Yeah.
Which is inaccurate. But
we gonna hear yours, and then we
but
gonna
no, we were both in college. I'm a year ahead of Wes. I was at Montevallo, he's at UAB, and there's a bunch of just mutual people we knew in between, and ended up meeting. Came up to UAB from stuff and met him. Like, all right, cool. Like, it wasn't like anything crazy. I didn't know he did music, and he didn't know I did either. And one day, it was when J. Cole came for the KOD tour.
Okay, I remember that.
He was at what's now Legacy Arena.
Yeah, so the BJCC.
Yeah, and after the show was over, I ran in the West. He was like, "Oh, like what's good, bro?" I knew he did music. Well, yeah, man, let's link. Let's get something done. And like, cool, let's do it. And I don't know the next time we linked, but we did. You know what I mean? And past that, it's kind of like just start kicking it. You know what I mean? Not even like on the music tip. Like we talk music, we work on stuff, but more than that, just started being friends. You know, just kind of keeping it hanging. So, but that was that was our initial like. My first memory.
Well, he about to be like, nah, see what had happened was.
That's how I remember it.
Let's run with that story.
Anytime somebody scratch behind their ears.
Let's go.
Nah, I want to hear your story.
No.
It's a wild story, man.
No. So
I'm gonna get jammed up.
I can't do it.
Oh, no, we ain't trying to get nobody beat up, man.
I'll be like this. I thought I met him during a more wild time in my life.
But it wasn't me.
Before you were saved.
But I was around.
Sure. Let's go with that.
I was around.
You know, people be like, before I found Jesus.
There was a no. It wasn't that, but it was just there was a lot of more longer nights where I was meeting people more often than I thought, and I thought he was one of them. So that's where because I knew of him, but I didn't really like know him. But I couldn't connect on where I knew him from. You know what I'm saying? No, for sure.
He said my name was in these
yes,
streets.
I remember this, but I didn't think that was our
Ask Mama
first
Bella
encounter.
about me, baby.
You feel me? Hey, he really run the school.
Cut it out.
He told us he was on the junior board.
Nah, for
He
sure.
told us white
Hey,
gloves.
with the white gloves.
White gloves and all.
Wait,
Junior board.
You thought
Hey, look, you feel me?
hilarious.
Hey, look,
That's still like the funniest thing.
Okay.
You ever seen one of those like signs like painted white men, like old painted white men? That's him. He got one of them.
He keep that feather wig back it's in the background.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, look, he used to be an RA. It's hanging in that same dorm. It's crazy. Bro, that's wild. Hey man, name on a library coming soon. We gonna talk about
Wow.
So to World Games. Fast forward to World Games. How did you all even get that performance? Did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? How did that come about?
Shoot, I'm very patient in terms of how everything kind of navigates, and I've probably been lying a little dormant just because of life and like nonprofit work and 100 other things we got going on. So of course we had been making music for a minute, but we just ain't putting none of it out yet because we're still working, retooling. You know what I'm saying? Just in the natural flow of it, like he was talking about. So one person, when it popped, I didn't see it at first, but somebody sent it to me. They was like, "Hey, I couldn't think of nobody else but you for this. Check this out." And I was like, "All right, cool, whatever." It was like an audition sign up for it. That same day, another person sent it to me, and I was like, "All right, so that's two, but whatever." Then I went to like one of our nonprofit meetings, and someone said, "Hey, they're doing auditions for this. You should check it." I said, "All right, that's three. All right, now let me see what we talking about here." And of course, it was like, well, I dropped an album in 2018. His most recent work was like 2019 at the time with Small World. So I mean, we had some stuff cooked up, but I feel like it was kind of gonna be a long shot. I just knew that talent-wise, I think we could do it. So we had came off, of course, COVID. We did one of the first live stream concerts in the city. Like, with just the connections we had, I think we already had like a natural chemistry in what we did. So normally I'm by myself with just like a DJ that, I kind of work with behind the scenes, but I was like, yo, what, we trying to pull some of this stuff out the bag? You know what I'm saying? How you feeling? What you thinking? And he said, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So we signed up, got our audition. Probably it was like maybe we put the video in like the last day, like the day before. And out of like 130 that submitted, we got selected. So the only hip hop. One other thing, it was two more. It was one more. It was one more rap group, but I never got a chance to see them. But like literally out of 130 acts, only 2 rap groups got selected.
That's amazing. Nah, big ups to y'all, really, because that's big to do that, and then with what seems like not a whole lot of preparation to like submit it and everything. That's a really good look and speaks to just the work that you all are doing for them to choose you all to perform. So that was really dope. Let me see. I'm trying to, because I want to also get into some personal stuff, because the girls who be watching, they be wanting to know what's going on with the tea.
You feel me?
Let's see. I do want to speak about y'all, the nonprofit, because I love Virginia Society. I always support them. We did a lot of work when I was with BSAC and wanted to work with y'all. So can we talk just a little bit about how that came about, the work that you all do, anything that you all have coming up, any support that you all may need as well?
No, for sure. So I am, let me put my proper voice on, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So
this is what somebody might see this, might want to give some money. You might get a check from this.
Excuse me, let me stop being outside for a second and come inside. So
why they gonna be like, this man, no, we ain't giving him no money.
Had written just said, you know what?
Right, he just ripped it up right there. He was like,
there you go, right? All right, so of course, for those who may not know me as just Wescam, the artist, right? My name is Wesley Wright. I'm the chief executive officer of a nonprofit organization here in Birmingham, a 501c3 that is called the Regenerate Society. And to answer your question and to get into what we actually do, it was literally 5 people in the very beginning that just, at that time on campus, you didn't see anybody doing the specific things we were all doing. And we had to like kind of fight our way into it. If it was rap, they were always outsourcing somebody from the city to come in and do performances. But I was the one actually here to be able to host and perform. And like, you didn't see any other student doing that. Photography was the same way. That was before Instagram popped off for real. So photography, graphic design, fashion, like all these little industries that people could individually do. We were like, yo, what if we like formed and like helped each other? We thought it was just gonna kind of be like a creative unit to where we could just, I need somebody to do my website. You do websites. You need somebody to do a website for, just like you need somebody to take photos of.
Yeah.
We need photos because he does fashion design, right? So
they're working
all
across.
it was supposed to just kind of interconnect. But we came together for the first meeting and said, I think God has something bigger for us here. Turn it into a nonprofit organization that, you know, now in this current state, we're going into year 6, where we take 17 to 24-year-olds and teach them how to use their God-given gifts to tackle social issues across 5 different divisions. So activism, business, creativity, creative arts, specifically in that, health and wellness, and outreach. So, you know, if there's something that a 17 to 24-year-old does, we want to be able to provide them the resources and opportunity to not have to go through what we went through to try and fight our way to do it. We want them to just find the platform to be able to say, hey, I can teach you how to take that gift, impact somebody else's life, and you never know what doors can open for yourself in the process. And you never know. Like for me, I graduated with a biology degree that I've never utilized and might as well be this coaster. So because of that, I don't want anybody else to go through that, right? And so we decided that, you know, our goal is to catch these younger individuals, whether in college or not, and just put some fuel behind their interests and passions. That way they can avoid paying thousands of dollars to go to school when they can just figure out directly what they want to do, or they can figure out what they don't want to do, more importantly. Yes, I didn't realize some of the stuff that I was not interested in until someone gave me a shot to try it. So hopefully that'll save them, you know.
This day I said I didn't need to go to college.
Yeah,
I think that's amazing too, because it comes from other young people.
Right.
Because you know, sometimes when adults are like, well, you don't need to do, I told them they don't need to do. It's like you can't receive like messages from everybody. So like receiving it from people who are like basically your peers, it's just, I don't know. I feel like that helps more.
100%. And that's so cool because, like, you know, knowing Jake like I do, like he even comes in to just help out in certain ways. We're just working on some of our younger members, right? Providing them outlets, because he's been that for me, of just being able to come into the studio and work on my craft a lot, you know? So being able to refer like younger people who are interested to him to just say, yo, like, let's come to the lab, like just sit in on some sessions, like let's listen. He's able to find some skill sets in them to where it's just like, yo, let's just get that recorded, right? And so some of them are even seeing like passions that they can pull out and network and meet other people and meet other artists, you know, because I feel like, of course, we got like day jobs, but to be able to, it's almost like a vacation when we get in the lab, when we get in the studio, and we kind of get in that mindset because we kind of know the end goal of what we want. And like a lot of times you really don't have people that just believe in you and put a battery in your back. So it's a, you know, Birmingham's a cool community. You know, we were just out, you know, I don't know if you want to tell them about your, you know, producer showcase the other night, but Birmingham's such an interconnected community because you start to see people in a city that's not Atlanta, that's not Nashville, that's not New Orleans, that have to come together to continue supporting each other to go to the next level. And, you know, that's really what our nonprofit does, except we try to flip it in a way where we put it back into the community and then utilize those who are in the community who are doing some of this already and who can say, no, I've been there, I've bumped my head there, I've seen that. Hey, here's a resource that we can give you to take your gift of MC and rapping or whatever it is you're interested in, and teach you how to say, yo, you could write an album just for yourself and that'd be cool. Or you can help use that gift to change someone else's life and say, yo, I can do that one day. So it's a different.
I think that's great too, because a lot of times kids don't have a lot of mentorship when it comes to the arts. Like, you know, a lot of times adults don't really see that as like actual job.
Yeah, or
you know
something that
because
make income from.
When I even majored in music, well, I majored in voice too. My family's kind of like, okay, what else you gonna do? Or like some of my friends that majored in dance, they like, well, okay, you ain't gonna try to do education or nothing. You ain't gonna have no
even
double
with communications, people really
you know,
be like,
so you majored in being on TV, but you ain't
journalism, so you gonna write papers.
You know what I'm saying? So,
you gonna type.
Yeah. So I think that's good too, because we need to like broaden our horizons. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Black people, unless you're like a doctor or like a teacher, like things that we know of, they don't really like believe wholeheartedly in you, and they certainly don't try to like push you, help you along, mentor you, you know, encourage you. So I think that's amazing.
And I can relate to that experience, and that goes, you know, takes us back to music. And I know Jake's story is gonna be a little different, right? So I want him to get into that as well. But like for me, I can relate directly to that because I come from single mother, right? Single Black mother at that, and I'm also the only child of her. So there's nothing more. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So there's nothing more that she would want from me at that time than for me to be secure and successful.
Yes.
But at that point in time, and especially coming up the way she did, I had to learn, and it took me a while, but I had to learn. I'm telling her for 17 years of life almost that I'm gonna be something that makes six figures, guaranteed, whether it be an architect or a dentist. So her pathway is shaped perfectly, like, oh, my son's gonna be great and successful or whatever, right? And at that point, in our family, we're probably some of the furthest that any of my family has gotten, right? In terms of school or education, anything like that. So now you're almost looking like there's the pressure on top of you. So for me to tell her, hey, yeah, I think I just want to have a microphone in my hand, right? And do community service work.
You won't be like,
it broke her.
Yeah.
Like it broke, because she always grew up telling me, yo, you can be whatever you want to be, just be a doctor first. So, and once I thought about it, like, people in that position can only tell you as far as their mind lets them experience it. So like, she didn't grow up with the YouTubes, social medias. Like, anybody who was in a magazine it was a 1 in a million chance. But we're growing up in generations where we literally are seeing it happen. So for us, it's realistic, but a lot of people who were coming up during that time didn't have that, almost in a completely different way than now. Because now it's almost like, we can have laptops, like we can put together cameras.
It's more
and video.
tangible.
Shoot, the parents are the one on social media now. You know what I'm saying? So
because if I see one more grandma getting naked on TikTok,
so that's what.
You ain't seen the videos
You
of
feel
them old
me?
ladies?
Hey, no.
Them old ladies. I'm not trying to take away from your story, but them old ladies
Some
be
of them
wildin'.
outside. You feel me?
They be wildin'. Miss Ernestine be in the kitchen like.
Cool.
But getting it, you feel me? Cut. You know what I'm
She
saying?
be having on her Savage and everything, and I be like,
did y'all see Ludell's Savage pictures? I'm sorry.
she look good. But I think pictures is cool, but the TikToks is
I ain't
taking.
gonna lie, I don't want to see that.
Why is you
I don't want to see that.
all over the place?
I don't want to see
See
it.
how they jiggling?
Put it up.
Nah, but
Let's do the robes and the pajama pants and slippers.
that you want to see?
Yeah.
You want to see?
A moo-moo.
You want to see canes running
Yeah,
across
he
the?
said, you a grandma look
nah.
like a grandma.
That's wild. That's mad wild. But
Why did that?
to cap that really quickly, it was cool because the day she realized it was possible was the day we did like the her concert and the B.O.B. concert.
I was
So
there, I remember.
the it's like the further, you kind of just, I had to just stick my head in a tunnel mode and say, okay, I'm gonna get it regardless. And so like once she started to see that it was possible, it started to kind of say, okay, I can kind of wake up to this. So that's like my story. I just kind of had to just drill down as hard as possible and make it a reality that she could possibly see.
It's like you have to prove it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
To them.
But his story might be a little different, so I'm gonna stop talking.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah. No. It is a bit different. Growing up in a 2-parent household, my parents are still married.
You feel? Hey, no, celebrate that.
I'm assuming both parents, but
Yeah.
okay. I didn't want to say black love, and you be like, well, my mom is, and I'm like, black love.
To some beautiful black parents. I have a sister, so I'm not the only child, but younger sister. But I don't know. It was to your point earlier. I think everybody wants the people they care about to be in a secure space. You know what I'm saying? Like when you don't understand that, like you can do way, like you have the opportunities and resources to do way more today than you could even 10 or 15 years ago. You know what I mean? But my parents were definitely people that pushed me a lot. My extended family, we have a really big family, but everybody would be like, yeah, like you can do this. So I remember telling my parents when I was really young, I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I was like, nah, I want to be on TV. I mean, you hear kids talking about stuff.
But then before we started this, he talking about I get nervous in front of the camera.
No, I just, you know what I mean? Like I'm,
You know what I mean?
you see what I'm saying? He knows, man. Like,
Hey, when you know, you know.
yeah. I mean, it's really like, very particular about what I'm saying when we record it on that. And so I get like,
You look shy.
you know what I mean? I'm like, I get really reserved.
Yeah,
So
you gotta get comfortable.
It's okay, we understand.
But nah, I was like, I want to be on TV. And they'll remind me of it a lot. And so when I was doing music and everything, like my parents would sit there and be like, oh no, that's cool. But when I was going to school, I was going for a marketing degree. And so doing that, I was still doing music. When I got my master's, I was still doing that, but I was doing the music. So it was like, I love this side of things on the business side, but I also love the creativity side. And I told them before, like sooner than later, like very, very soon, that'll be what I do, like full time. You know what I mean? Like when until.
And how do they feel about that?
I mean, they support it because they know like I feel like they're confident enough to know they can raise me well enough to know like I can make decisions that make sense. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be reckless. And sometimes it won't make sense. I don't have all the answers. And sometimes it's just like, look, I feel like I should do this. Like, look, we ain't got millions of dollars where it's like I run into something that's like I need help, and I can just be like, hey, let me get my 30, 40 down. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so we don't live like that. So, but they know me well enough to know that, you know what I'm saying, if I'm gonna do something like that, like obviously I have to have some kind of faith in it. And it's not even just faith in me, but faith in God. Like understand, I pray about it and being like, yo, like God has told me, like, look, I'm gonna do this for you. But then I'm just kind of like, all right, what I need to do and when do I need to do it? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to jump too fast, but I also don't want to be too hesitant and not, you know what I'm saying, not capture the moment. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like a yin and yang kind of story, but all in all, we ended up in the same space. You know what I mean? Still creating, still doing what we do, impacting people, changing our lives, changing our families' lives, and yeah, we like at the very, very beginning of it. You know what I mean? Like
that was so scary.
Yeah, but it's also the fun part. Like I enjoy like I don't like not necessarily the struggle, but I understand. I enjoy like the process of being like, oh, I don't know, like. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what's next. I don't know.
I feel like you have to though, because when you're a creative, you really don't fucking know.
I think that's, I was gonna say, as a creative, most of the time we just don't. You're doing some shit that you have no idea what it's supposed to look like, sound like, or anything. You're just like, I know what I want, and I just want to start.
But then you also have moments where things work and start to work, and you're like, oh, you know what? Well, maybe I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? Like again,
you tapped into something.
Yeah, things like that. I have friends that are largely successful in music and way more successful than I am, and we still talk on the regular. And I'm seeing what they're doing. I don't want to put them out there like that, but I see what they're doing and like quitting their jobs and doing this full time and being like very successful in it, and me seeing it and being like,
it's possible.
And being like, but to me, and granted, this may not even be how God set it up, but in my mind, as I see it, it's like God showing me, like, hey, look, I'm showing you, like, firsthand, like, it can happen. If you really want to do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being consistent. Like, that's the main thing. Like, it's people I know that are way, way more talented than I am in music and other things, but I don't know a lot of people that outwork me. You know what I mean? Like, they won't be as consistent as I am. You know?
Talent only takes you so far with zero work ethic, okay?
You can be a lot better than me, but you're not gonna like outwork me. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be consistent with my craft. Because like the back of my laptop, all that, I keep it everywhere I go, just because you never know. Like,
you never know what's up.
Oh, I need da da da. Like I need this.
It's so funny. We was just in that scenario.
Stay ready, so you ain't gotta get ready.
At the conference, and we were probably about to have a chance to perform because somebody didn't show up, and it was like, I got it in the car.
Y'all should have performed instead of Homeboy.
Well, listen, everybody get their shine.
I'm sorry, let me not say that.
All that just to say, like, I was like, all that to say, I was like, yo, I got it with me, and we get it together.
I knew, I felt it.
Let's be prepared. You know what I mean? You never know when that moment is happening, and I don't want to be like,
oh no,
bro, I should have brought it.
Only caught with my pants now. Just
let me give you my card.
Yeah, like nah, I'm gonna show you. You know what I mean?
I understand.
And that's what's really cool for us, because you know what he was tapping into was the reason why. Like that's probably the reason why I haven't quit music, because like at a certain point, you know, you have them hard times where you question your own self, like, you know, what does this really look like? We always get in the studio and talk about retirement, and then we get back in the studio and be like, all right, well, maybe we're not retiring today, right? You know, a dope show ago. But like seriously, like you'll find times where I think there's a responsibility that you kind of have with music, right? To make sure, like for me personally, like lyrically, I'm always trying to chronicle that story of how do I show people just how difficult sometimes it really is, the ups and downs. And like for me, I'm interweaving like Christianity into it as well, like but not just, you know, some of those like typical stories, maybe like your Lecrae versions of stories, the real middle ground of like, yo, I'm out here kind of wilding, but I know better. But also at the same time, you know, you have both. So you have your moments where, you know, you're further along and making progress. But you also have those where it's just like, yo, Lord, I really don't know what to do right now. Or I'm experiencing this, and how do I kind of have this conversation? Or even like, yo, should I really put this whole thing down? You know, should I put music down, or should I figure out what to do in life next? So it's chronicling those real life stories that you can put into, whether it be, I always say, I'm trying to make your grandma's favorite music for real, but something that your grandkids can listen to and it changed their life by the time they get my age when I'm actually rapping about it. So, you know, for us to be able to go in the studio and do what we do. And like, I think what's so cool is we have those moments where we're questioning sometimes, but the opportunities we get is kind of wild, because like to be able to say like, I'm not from the city, like, you know, our music may be a little different sometimes, or it may not fit the common mold of what's being produced, and to be able to see some of the opportunities we've had to perform, like, you know, it's at that point it's favor other than us. So we just thank God and stay prayed up, and, you know, hopefully if I'm going to be held with the responsibility of saying something to a mass of people, I want to make sure I'm saying something that hopefully change their life and put them in the right direction, you know. So hey, look, he just gave me some dope music to do it to, so shoot, you know, I'm very appreciative.
Because I've been listening to you all talk, and you are mentioning a lot about, you know, being blessed with the opportunity and, you know, looking to God for that guidance. Do y'all find it difficult to be, because I'm assuming for the main part, you all are making more like secular toward rap music, or is it, or your beats are universal? It's like, hey, if you want, or your producing is universal. It's like, hey, if you want to, it could be any song you want. Or, but the question would be, do you find it difficult with like maintaining your faith while also working like in a media, music, entertainment, or leaning toward that, or you don't find any difficulty? Because it's like, look, I love God, God is in me, he on me, and it is what it is. That's what you get. Or do you sometimes, maybe with writing, is it more difficult? Because, you know, all the rap now is like ass, titties, drugs, money, shoot them, yeah, we in a hotel, we flying to Dubai, we in a private jet, booty, titty, strip club, pole. So
I don't find it, and I don't want to.
No, do the other.
I mean, like, I think it's different for Wes and myself, because when he's writing, he's delivering like his message through music. He's like giving you the lyrics, like I'm talking about XYZ. When I'm making my music, it's kind of like you take it how you want it. If it's a beat tape, however you feel, like, you know what I mean. That's how you take it. Yeah, that's how you get inspired by it. But I make what I like. You know what I mean. Even like music that I'm working on with other artists, it's not necessarily like gospel music, like whatever I like. Like, you know what I mean. And just so happened when Wes and I are working, that's the lane that he's in. It's like, man, well, let's lean into that. When I work with other artists, whatever lane they're in, that's the lane I'm leaning into. But, you know what I mean? I think it's kind of like one of those things, you separate the art from the artist. And I do that with myself. Like, I do have like certain things I'm not going to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's
like what? What's something out there that you like, okay, now look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've worked with some people before where it's just kind of like, nah, this ain't really my bag, man. Like, and not even like the sound or the content. It's just like, sometimes it's just like the person, like I'm seeing they are. Like, I might not know them, but I'm seeing like, oh, you move like that. Like, I see why I see your music like that. It's like, nah,
that'll turn you off before anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
and again, like, you can get energy off people. It's like, nah, like, if you want to talk about guns, you want to talk about whatever. I got music for it. Listen, if you want to do, listen, get your art out. You know what I'm saying? We can do that. But it's like when it's like, oh no, you really own it. You own it.
You ready to die now?
Yeah, and it's like, nah, my man, I ain't on that type of time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, somebody might have followed you to the studio.
Yeah.
You know what?
Did you lock the door when you came?
I don't just work with anybody that hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he know like the studio ducked off. So if you up there, you gotta like,
you know what time.
I'm like, you have to know, like nobody knows it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so
that's how we feel about our place.
Yeah, it's ducked off. Like, no, I would have never found this. Like, I would have
we
never.
be like, look, all this stuff you gotta be VIP. If you didn't get the invitation, you don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
but I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You gotta be protective of your art, protective of your space, protective of your
yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Especially
I don't think it's nowadays.
Like, you really gotta have a wristband for real.
No, for real.
You really have a wristband.
Yeah.
And also, if I don't like your music, I won't give you a beat. Yeah. Or say a beat. Like, I don't. Granted,
you may not want your name attached to that.
But yeah, again, that's the thing. Like, if it's like, I don't think it's like, nah, that ain't the one. Like, Wes and I we have very, genuine, honest conversation with each other sometimes. And we'll sit down, and then he'll do something. I'll be like,
that ain't it.
nah.
Yeah.
And I'll play something. Sometimes I play a beat. He'd be like, nah, that ain't the one. Which it don't hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? And I'm sure it don't hurt it, but you gotta have somebody to be honest. But I'm like,
there's always notes.
That's what we always trying to do. Like we're in the studio trying to get better. So like, and that's what's so cool. Like when you respect who you're working with, because it's one of those things where, like, I'm long-winded, and I know I am. So if Jake give me a whole record, I'm gonna try to write for the whole record. And like sometimes it just don't work. You know what I'm saying? So like being able to have him there, be like, yo, tweak this.
Wrap it up.
Let's chop this.
Let the
breathe,
no, man.
For sure. No, 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, my dog. Hey.
I know I made the beat 6 minutes, but the song was only supposed to be 3.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool because we always say it's iron sharpening iron. You know, like for us to be able to go in and say, okay, you got a sound I'm not hearing, so tell me what you see. I'm telling you how I'm trying to deliver it. Let's figure out how we can meet in the middle. If it's something he has more so than anything, then it is me. I'm just kind of the opinion there. Then bet I see a vision, take what you can do your thing, right? And it's the same way around. So it's really cool because, you know, for us, the music just comes out really interesting. And it's so funny because Jake will catch me with a beat that it's so funny. He was talking about topics too, because he'll like the first record we wrote where he sent me, I was in the middle of heartbreak. So he'll send me something at the right time. And like, I'm not a high volume writer. I'm not that. Some people just sit and just whatever, let's write. I'm not like that. It really has to catch me sometimes.
So you write after you hear the beat?
No, that just started with him.
Okay.
And like this maybe happened twice. Out of all the music I've ever done, that may have happened twice before Jake. But like may have happened only twice. Typically, I'm going in with something already like there and clipped up in that way. But yeah, like that time he was sending me joints, and like there's a lot that just kind of going through the last couple of years where I haven't figured out how to word it, because I think, like I said, there's a responsibility. Like for me, I don't just want to say anything. Like I always want to make sure whatever I'm saying is one, like, it ain't because I ain't got stories. I got stories, but we were just talking about this. I was like, dang, I might be actually with billions if I actually told my real story sometime, right?
I be sending some heat.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't miss.
And that's fair. You don't miss. No. He don't miss.
He said he don't miss.
Hey, man, look, you feel me?
Get at him.
The boy don't miss. You know what I'm saying? And so
the facts are the facts.
But like certain stories that would work for like other artists to like highlight and glorify, I'm not trying to glorify.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to maybe tell people how to say, hey, this is what it is, but stay away on this side, right? Or I failed this way. I'm not trying to get you to see it like, oh, hey, that's what I want to do too. Yeah. But like put it in a dope line and figure out how you can move with it to something impactful.
Do you think that's the artist's like responsibility, especially us as Black people? Because you know now, especially with Takeoff's recent passing and just like hell, everybody's recent passing at this point. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that is an artist's responsibility? Because I know even when Cardi B came out, people would say to her like, clean it up, like you're a Black woman. This is how you portraying yourself, yada yada yada. And she's like, well, I'm not their mama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not. I think even one time she said she's not here to be a role model or something like that.
Like, do you think that is the artist's responsibility?
You want to touch that one first? I got mine. You want to touch that one though?
Go ahead.
All right. For me, as a writer, I'm always going to say yeah. And the only reason I say that is because rappers they're not dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're on a platform like that and you're bragging already about how many people listen to your music, that means good and well whatever you say can influence people. And I'm not in like a bad way, but I'm a huge believer in kings and sheep, shepherds and sheep. Like, some people just don't think in that nature. So they're going to hear whatever you put out to them and they're just going to take it and go with it. So whether you're putting, negativity in my life, I'm just taking it and run. Right? Whether you're putting positivity in my life, some people just take it and run. Some people don't take it to the next level to say, okay, why are you saying this? I can maybe need to challenge this, whatever, right? So, and that's a cool thing. And it's no problem to anybody in that nature. It's just saying that if you're in the responsibility, then I would hope you want to be more responsible than that. But I also understand where money lies. So
your money
if your goal is the money of it, then I can't really expect that. It's on me at that point to take whatever you give me and do what I will with it, or choose not to listen to it if I don't want to listen to it. But it depends on your goal. Like if your goal is to change lives in a good way, then yeah, you have to take a very responsible or a high level of responsibility with your craft. If it's not, then it sounds like you're doing a great job. Continue it. You know, I don't now on the personal end, their situations are kind of different because depending on what you're writing also can depend on what situations you end up in. And I'm not saying that because of the music they make, that's why what happened to them. Like I'm not a believer like, oh, I'm listening to P&B rock and I'm finna go do something like, nah, like that's not, I think what happened. But I just think that depending on how you move, like the takeoff scenario, it puts you in sometimes company.
In situations that are outside of your control, right? And sometimes you don't really want to be in that space. Like J. Cole, I think is a perfect example of he rap about what he rap about and he go home. He go home to his wife and kids and tell you that he gonna go home to his wife and kids.
And that, say that one more time. Ain't nothing wrong with going home.
No, like that's cool.
I say that all the time. It's too many niggas who don't like to stay in the house.
Hey,
take your ass to the crib.
And that's cool.
Because that's where I'm at.
You might be like Drake, who is in the strip club all the time. That's cool.
That's why all the single pretty girls are in the house.
That's your bag.
That makes sense though, because that's why he has scandals with women all the time.
Yeah. That's why he got to put hot sauce in his condoms.
Right.
Also,
what?
I don't know if that's why. I mean, I think.
Well, no, I think. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I think we just get to a certain like levels of success, man. It's just
of course,
like,
yeah.
It's inevitable to have some kind of scandal. I mean, not saying you got to be doing something, but you know, I mean, people.
They gonna find.
I do think it's choices though. Like I do think it's choices because I feel like when you. Like if you rap about that, you kind of have to like keep the persona up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like some rappers, they probably aren't even like, you know,
hard body like that.
You know what I'm saying? No, but they have this image, and so they have to do those things now. They playing a character,
especially when you realize
I feel that way about the baby.
Rap songs
I feel that way about the baby because I feel like the baby. Because if you look at we could do a study on him, but like because when he first came out, he really
you heard that.
He really came with that like persona. Cause you remember when he first came out, he was always in the news for beating somebody up, shooting at the Walmart, kicking somebody at the club.
He said, "Oh, y'all like this? I'm doubling down."
Like he always was. He always was in some shit. But look how that backfired on him.
Yeah, and that's how he started. But
buy one get one free
keep it up. Like I feel like I don't know. I think I don't know. Even us as like regular folks, like. If that's the kind of life like we decide to live, certain things gonna come to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of also that, but I don't think they deserve to be hurt or
never.
You know, anything like that. I just think you put yourself in position sometimes, just like you said.
It's out of your control.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, listen, and to that other point, I don't just to answer that one. I don't think you're obligated to be a role model.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing what I like. Do I think it's the responsible thing to do to be like,
for sure.
When you know you got a platform like that to like be conscious that you have that influence? Yeah, but I don't think you're like obligated. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, I don't have like no crazy platform like that, but I do know that some people may listen to me or look at me a certain way, or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. I understand like people watching, people listening. But I mean, if I don't, then
you know, I kind of hate that black people. We have to have like. The world on us, you know what I'm saying?
You have to see it from all sides.
Like other artists, like white artists or whoever, they can just go out and make a song about going out and having fun at a party. Nobody's like
irresponsibility is cute.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you be doing that? The kids are watching you. But I feel like for us, if we do things, it's like it's a disgrace to your race. You know what I'm saying? You know,
if one person does it, it's a thing for all black people.
You know, like I feel like I hate that we can't just be. You know what I'm saying? Like even if it's a part of your art to talk about where you came from, and that's a negative thing, it's still like a culture of where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Like people where you come from, they can relate to it. So it's art. So I don't think you should have to be a role model either. I just think I don't know. It's like a fine line or something that maybe people need to walk. Like between creating the music and the actual life they live or something. I feel like they can be separate or something.
100%. I think some of the craziest records, if people really if people really read the song liners, it's really crazy how some of them hardest records aren't even written by that person.
Exactly.
And you'd be shocked who they're actually written by.
Yeah.
So you're just sitting here looking, and like they'll get into the songwriter conversations, and I won't pick out examples like that on camera, but they'll go.
Pick it out.
Nah,
Call them folks out.
it's all good. It's all good.
We call them out. We say how it is on this show.
It's all. Let me put it like this. I'll say this, right? So I will say this. So
Right? We black bougie about it.
here's
He
what I
mad
will
at
say,
me.
right? So Saha the Prince is one of the most influential songwriters in hip hop, and it's crazy because you may not can call out one of his own lyrics because he don't have his own fame, but that's crazy because some of your favorite songs right now, you are singing his lyrics. I feel like that. So it's folks like that kind of catch the imagery that don't fit the person they actually wrote them. But they do fit the quote unquote image of whoever is trying to move with that image. So you're right. It is a personal choice, 100%. But where you want to walk, you feel me?
Let you know, man.
Yeah.
I get that kind of money. I'm gonna be the same, man. I ain't gonna change.
So, what would you all say is, and it's a two-part, is the best and worst thing about like being, and I'm gonna say artist for you because I look at it as an artistry as well, as being an artist. Because I know there's pros and cons, and of course it's the money. I get money, or people pay me, but like, what would you say really is like, okay, this is something that I still struggle with, or this is the downside to me being an artist, and then this is the upside. This is what keeps me going.
I love people. Like I'm a people person. But working with other people in that space is not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm used to doing 97% of everything I do it myself. But then when I'm working with other artists, which again, a lot of times is necessary. Sometimes it's like, oh, man, I don't want to deal with like just another personality. Or just like,
Are you a control freak?
I wouldn't call it control freak.
Anytime people say like,
but no, I do like to like, I know what I like, what I want to hear, or what I want to do, what I want to see. But at the same time, like, okay, for instance, the first record from Wes. Now Wes knows even now, I'll make a beat and I'll like rap or sing a reference to something. It's nothing that anybody public will ever hear ever.
Why not?
Because I'm not doing
I want to hear the demo tape.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, let us hear the demo.
Nah, the hard drive gone. But no, I'll send it like to Wes and be like, yo, this is an idea I had. You can scrap it, or if you like it, you can play around with it. But just to be like, I give people I work with creative freedom. Like, if I'm asking you to write something, I want to be here like, oh no, say da 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 instead of this, because I came to you for a reason. This is what you do. So a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but sometimes I'm working with artists or whatever, and they're like, oh, let's do this with the beat, da 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 da, but they don't know what they're doing. It's like, bro, this is like, I get it. I appreciate the suggestion, but sometimes like, nah, this is my world. Like, I know, you know what I mean? Like, so sometimes it's kind of like, I guess maybe that's kind of controlling, but I'm just kind of like, nah, like,
don't fuck with my beat, nigga.
yeah, it's like, nah, like, let me produce this
on your end.
Yeah, but again, that's the difference between like a producer and a beat maker. Like a beat maker, somebody I'm just gonna make this beat and it's whatever it is. But somebody who's producing a producer is like producing it. Like,
and you have to worry about every little part of the track.
Yeah, so it's everything from the context of the song to how you know what I mean, everything about it. Actually having to say so and like how the actual idea is molded. So
I love that.
I get really passionate, and he knows too. Like, we've gotten like heated, like.
I believe
like, no, we got like it's just been like we gonna cool out for 2 days. You know what I'm saying? But again, we're both
back at it.
Yeah. But I think y'all gonna say that happens when you're passionate. I feel like if you're not butting heads about and you working with somebody, if y'all not butting heads, almost like y'all, you don't care enough about it. Like if nothing is irritating you about this situation, to me, you don't care enough about it because there's always room for improvement, like I said. So if you can't nitpick about something, there's a problem.
There's always notes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Beyonce be like, okay, and now it's time for notes. And everybody's like, I thought we did it.
I mean, that was wonderful, but
we still got one more.
Yes, it's always time for notes.
I think what y'all do is a form of art as well. Like, even like being able to have these kind of conversations with people. Like the same question goes to y'all. Like, what's the pros and cons of doing this, even with this, like with each other or with guests, or you know what I'm saying, things behind the scenes? Like, how does that work for y'all?
You want to go first?
I would say.
I think I should play rock paper scissors just on the record.
No. She can go first.
I would say probably like for the audience, figuring out like for us, figuring out what the audience wants, like what our audience wants. Who is our fucking audience? You know what I'm saying? Like, do people even like the stuff we put out, or should we go in this direction? Are we doing things at the right time? Are we having guests on enough, or you know what I'm saying? Like, should we change up the topics? I feel like it's nice having creative freedom, but it's also like. Like, if we have so much freedom, it's like, I don't know what choices to make. Are we making the right choices? And then both of us are very passionate about the show. You know what I'm saying? We both very passionate about how everything looks, how the quality of everything, things
we
that
both
we
got
do.
type A personalities.
We do. And so it's like, I would say just for us, like we don't always agree on everything that we do either, but we both respect each other. We are both friends. We both care about each other. And so I feel like at the end of the day, it just works. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, if we didn't both care, then I would think that's a problem.
For me, I'd say the biggest pro would be like having the creative freedom and control and meeting the people. Like you said, like I'm a people person, so I like sitting down and picking people's brains and learning how you got here and just seeing how people tick and how just the screws inside your head and the wheels and they're turning. I'm just one of those type of people. Like I'll talk to somebody in the Dunkin' Donuts line if you look interested in them.
Ain't never met a stranger.
I'm just one of those people. But I would say that the con is, like she was saying, having so much control, it gets very overwhelming with everything. Like everything falls on you. It's like, if this ain't right, it's either me or you. If this ain't right, it's me or you. Like there's no other people because we're the team, as of right now. Until we grow larger. So it gets a little overwhelming. And then I would say along the lines of just waiting for how do you say it?
The thing.
The click for everybody else to get what we already get. Because when people meet us in person and they come on the show, they're like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing. Like we love y'all. Like we want to come back. What y'all have here is magic. Like everybody we meet tells us what we have is magic. Like we have not met a person who didn't say this since day one. So it's like, okay, all y'all saying this shit. Well, world, can you catch up? Can you and we so wonderful. Help us out, Lord. But it's happening. It's just happening slowly. I mean, and it's happening extremely slow. But I understand that right now in the world that we are in, it's so much content to consume. Of course, and specifically with podcasts right now, everybody and their goddamn mama got a podcast. Everybody has a podcast. So I'm taking that into account. So I don't try to be too hard on us with like looking at the analytics and the numbers and all of that, because I realize people have thousands and thousands of podcasts to choose from every day. And it only takes the one right person to stumble across ours to change our lives. So
I think us going to support minds too, because they're two Black girls who started at their house.
They went to college.
They both majored in communications. Yeah. And so seeing them and then going to their show, we was like, bitch, we can do this now. With no low key, we really, and there was no disrespect to them, but just No, because we love Lex and Drea.
She pulled the stick out.
No.
Like, what's up?
No, but what we were saying was
hey, word to mother, y'all got smoke on the block. You feel me?
No. But it's
but with love.
Tangible. It became more tangible.
We could really do that. We could do that. We have personality enough, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if we got to that kind of a level, people here, especially would support us. It just felt like, that's not a thing that I can't do.
It's not a one in a billion.
You know what I'm saying? That's not something that if it fell in my hands, we would be like, I don't know what to do with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
We know we could do that.
Yeah.
It just felt like that. So I think it was more like reassurance.
And I like y'all red carpet stuff too. Y'all be doing stuff on the slide that I feel like people don't really credit enough. So and not for sure.
We do bookings.
Hey, if you want to
get us now while we cheat.
That's what I'm saying. Book them through me though.
Fat Joe say yesterday's price is not today's, and every time we book something, we go up some more. I'm telling y'all.
And your boy getting 15, so book them.
Something like that. But yeah, that would be the pro. But at the end of the day, and we've said this from day one, this is like therapy for us, like a form of therapy. Come in and especially when I really be going through it.
Both of us.
When life be dragging me through the mud. Lord have
Y'all
mercy.
don't be like scared, like talking about
Like
that
scared?
kind of stuff to the
No,
public.
I love it.
Y'all
I love
be a
telling my
little,
business.
y'all be a
Is that
little,
bad?
y'all be
I
a little
really do.
nervy.
Like, and not telling my business in a way where like it's bad, but I really truthfully feel like I'm not the only person going through stuff.
it.
So when I say
Yeah.
something, it's like I'm like, okay, yeah, this might be embarrassing. Like when I tell people my Memphis trip story, how I went across state lines for a nigga and I was hiding in the closet and the police had to come get me, like all this stuff. Like when I say it, I'll be like, damn, I was a dumbass bitch, or I was really stupid in that moment. But
You said, why didn't I pick the
I'm like,
bathroom?
a young girl might listen to that, an 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl watching my show might hear that and be like, okay, this is how I can handle the situation. Yeah, let me make sure when a man invites me, somewhere, he handles the situation accordingly, and I'm not ending up in a situation where I'm in danger.
That's fair.
So, and I'm an only child. So, I have a brother, but we don't have the same mother, so I didn't necessarily grow up with him.
I got 2 half sisters the same way. So I feel you.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Shout out to
my
Morgan
way
and Keisha,
of processing stuff is just talking. Like I have to, once I talk about it, and I don't even have to like go in depth. And I think that's why I like Twitter so much, because I can kind of just like
be you
one off
Get it
whatever,
out.
and it's like okay, it's gone, it's off into the Twitter sphere,
and depending on
it's
how
off
and
of
how
my
off
chest.
it is, it can just bloom. You just never know.
No, and sometimes you
Yeah.
fuck up because next thing you know, you done tweeted something and then somebody reply, you like,
Mhm.
But I like, cause I'm one of those people, and Jessica knows this about me. I got to get it off my chest. I got to relieve myself. I am not one of the people who I can just sit here and allow something to be brewing up in my spirit. And sometimes
I'm a
I should
hold
keep
it in person.
And
that's I be having to work on that, because I do we both tell a lot of our business on here, and half the time I don't give a fuck. But even like jobs, just instances, people like, but I think it just gets easier. Like once you start doing it, it's like I don't even remember that we're recording. Like
I can't tell you how many times I be getting phone calls from folks, and they be like, "So I see you was talking about me on a podcast," and I be like,
"That's crazy."
What did I say?
Go on there and come in.
So you like the podcast Drake for real?
No, it's just
y'all out here dropping hits
don't
and getting calls back.
I put it this way. I give
madness.
people the forerunning, like the podcast is a part of my life. I share my life on the podcast. So if you do not want anything to be shared, then let me know, because I'm going to share it. So like if I'm dating you and like an experience happens where I feel like somebody can take something away from that, then I'm gonna say it. Now I don't really come on here just to be like say shit.
Like,
to say it. I ain't on here like I was just out here like no. But if I feel like you can take a lesson from it and it's something that can impact somebody, then I'm gonna come in here and
while
share
you're there getting mad, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, tell somebody else.
But there are days we come on here and just rant. There are days I come on here and I just like niggas say shit.
Yeah.
And then we get those guys that come in and be like, "You hate men, don't you?" Sure. Yeah.
So that's the reason why you said you like Drake's line about Serena. That makes sense.
I never said
I got
that.
you. No,
I
that was.
that. You obviously watched this week's
I'm
episode,
clipping.
didn't you?
I'm clicking. That
Did you
makes
watch
sense.
this week's episode?
No.
Did y'all today?
I did. We was talking earlier. You feel me? When we
never
got
said
on the
that.
pod, you was just
I
like,
never said
"Yo, her loss is my soundtrack of the season."
Even
I
though
said,
broke boys,
that's what's up. You feel me? And I said,
broke
that makes
boys.
sense.
So shout out to my brother,
broke
man,
Hey.
who's a producer on that joint.
The people you should play.
Hey, nah, for sure.
Shout out to my guys, man.
Hey, they went to war last night, by the way.
To just kind of close things out, let people know where they can find y'all, what projects you all have dropping, what events you all might be performing at, where they can see you. Also for the nonprofit, where people might be able to like sign up, volunteer, and all of that. Just this is your time to shine. This is your time to look in the camera and just give them all you got.
Sure.
Go ahead, bro.
Nah, bro. You want rock, paper, scissors, bro?
Yes.
I gotta respect it.
All right, bet. This is like the alcohol part.
That was hard.
I'm weak. You're supposed to say, my name Jacob. I'm classified alias.
Also,
I be on there.
Introducing myself as classified alias is also very, very weird to me. Like he's been around where somebody's been like, it's been in public, like, oh, classified alias, and I'm just like, yo, what up? Like, you know,
Let it out.
yeah, no, I don't know, yeah, because in my mind it's like, well, obviously, if you call me Jacob, it's like, okay, we might know each other. You say classified alias, it's like,
You follow me on Instagram.
yeah, or you've seen me like this, so you know me through that, and it's like I don't know you, but I feel like I should. Like I be want to talk back to people like
That's like us when people be like, "We watch your podcast." We be like, "For real?"
Yeah, like, oh, thank you.
But I was a little embarrassed too. I got hot. I was like, ooh, you watching it?
Yeah, but I'm
trying to tell you, yo, that's one of the most nerve-wracking things for me. Somebody will be like, yo, hey, I've seen you before. I'd be like, oh, shoot. Either congratulations or I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it was, but
if we feel like this now, imagine like when shit is up, you're gonna be like, ah.
But I feel like that's just because it'd be 1 in a million. I feel like when it's like, if it's a whole lot of people, I'll eventually probably get used to it.
Hopefully, I won't be like Carisha. And I love Carisha. But you remember, she was like, that girl came up to her and was like, hey, Carisha. And she was like, I think I know you. And then she started figuring out that the girl was a fan. And she was like, bitch.
Yeah, because she said she don't like people calling her that.
That's what I'm saying. But now they know their real name. And that's why I was like, I don't want people calling me Jacob. So now I don't know. If you call me Jacob,
I feel her on that. I get it.
They gotta be your friends.
Yeah, like I know, like you know me. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like
you've been to the studio if you call him that, you know where the studio at.
Real bad.
No,
I hate that.
Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know. I've worked with people that's like, I don't really know you like that.
Damn. Are you one of them people where they be like, they might not know your real name, but they only know like your nickname or your.
If I'm introducing myself, I'm gonna say Jacob.
Okay.
Like I'm just introducing myself. But if they say something to me and it's like, oh, this class about Alias, I'm just gonna rock with that. Like, yeah, it's.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, and even like at the like I'm the Wescam at the crib, but like when I'm recording, working on something in the crib, I don't let a lot of people come to the house.
You should,
like,
you should protect your energy.
So that's why I had the studio. It's like, all right, well, if I'm shopping beats or whatever, like, oh yeah, I'm at class about Alias studio. Like, all right, yeah,
that's who I am.
Yeah, that's me.
But I feel like if it's work, they should know you by your work name, and then that's how you can differentiate who's like.
That's the first time I've heard an artist name called that a work name.
You know,
I mean that's your profession,
but you know what I'm
It's an
saying?
alias.
That's your work name, and then Jacob is who you are.
Yeah.
So
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm Jacob.
Stage name, and then what they used to call.
Y'all saying I need to change my name for real. I need to
because you are Wescam.
Yeah, you was. I mean,
I'm gonna come up with something. Stay tuned.
You can't because you can't. It's too late.
I already gave us the story.
The seed has been planted in the flower.
Lotto changed her name to work.
That was different. That was she had to.
I'm gonna tell you.
She would not be nominated for no Grammys as mulatto.
she still would have made it.
I don't think she would. I don't think she would have made it as mulatto. I don't think
the
people.
black community
They would not, because people was not fucking with mulatto.
She was already known.
People were not fucking with her that much as mulatto.
She should have changed her name. Yeah, I get like why she changed it.
The streets was not rocking with mulatto. I'm telling you.
But think about this: how many people? Obviously, we would know. But the general consensus, listen to that. How many people do you think knew what mulatto was? Besides her name.
Enough. It only takes one black person with a black Twitter sphere to say
that's
some
a fair question.
But I'm saying you might not even know what that is.
That's a fair question.
But a lot of them, because if you
and a lot of Twitter people,
yeah.
But Twitter's a small population in comparison to the entire world.
Everybody who's listening to it. Granted, I don't know what her fan base is, and I listen to some of her music, but it's like, how many people know?
That's what I'm saying. Her fan base, she would not have been able to get. She would not have been able to continue to do what she is now doing.
Okay, think about
as mulatto with the fan base that she has.
Think about when I first heard Glorilla. When I heard that, I was like, bro, why would she name her? When I thought her name is Gloria, I was like, oh, makes sense. I get it. But when I first saw it, I was like, Glorilla? Like, why would you call yourself that?
Sure.
And thinking, but again, but then when I heard it, I was like, oh,
okay, I had to go there. Okay.
You just got to say,
yeah, but her name's Gloria. So I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I understand where you went with that. Cool. But at first, I was just like, why are you doing that? Oh, I thought somebody was
no, that was me, my elbow. he has a hair ready. But I get what you're saying. I get
and she's still doing what she do. You know what I mean? Like,
no, mulatto wouldn't have worked. I don't know if I would have been a fan if she would have been mulatto. That's what I'm saying. Like, she would not the trajectory. She could not have done what she done.
Responsible things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want your legacy tarnished because you like named yourself something that's so polarizing, so we can't separate your work from a dumbass decision you made. So you gotta decide too, am I gonna keep wasting my time and doing this?
And her being mixed.
Yeah.
And she's half white, and then her market and demographic is black women. Yeah. And you getting on stage as this light, bright ass, and no disrespect, but light, bright skinned woman, referring to yourself as a mulatto, but then you are also,
but your fan base is the girls.
You are trying to empower black women. It's messy. You can't be mulatto.
Hey, we gotta make something for the girls, dog.
You do.
I don't know.
Cause I love Lotto, and I'm gonna be honest, she had a great album.
And Lotto got bars. Like she could rap on the rap game. I didn't like her. I didn't like her on the rap game. She was very much so giving spoiled brat.
So you're saying if she never changed her name, she would not be where she is?
I do not.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Because of the times in 2022, we can't even say the J word without getting canceled.
I was about to say something else, but I don't know if they're gonna bleep it out, so I'm just gonna.
No, go ahead and say it. I'll bleep it out. I'll bleep it out if you said it, if it's bad. What is it? It's about the J's people?
No.
Because if it is,
nah.
Mayday.
Mayday.
We still building. We don't got no problems with the people.
Well, we know I let that chopper spray. So
When I know not about them. I don't know. They I don't know.
This is crazy.
They from the ghettos too.
This is just up.
That's where ghetto came from. If you do your history.
No, but
don't say that.
I'm sorry.
But see, that's the thing though. You have to know that for that to be funny.
Yes.
You have to know that.
That would go over a lot of people here.
That goes into what you said. There are a lot of people who may not even catch that.
Yeah.
Like that's yes.
But that's because anyway, they ain't had an AR reading list together.
And I watch documentaries. I tell y'all, look, a documentary will teach you a whole lot. You sit down and listen to some shit, you'll know a whole lot about a whole lot of, or watch the news. Yeah, I learned a lot from the news too.
All right.
But okay,
On attention. All right, cool. But again,
where can people find you? Look you up, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm Classified Alias. You can find me. Actually, everything is in one centralized place. ClassifiedAliasMusic.com.
Cool.
Where you can
He
find
said he got a website.
all of everything on all the streaming platforms, social media. The projects I've done. I just finished up a series of beat tapes called The Hero's Journey. And it's 4 beat tapes. Each one of them kind of represent different seasons of my life and stuff like that. And so
With visuals, by the way.
With visuals,
Wow.
with visuals. Which is
watch them.
A very taxing thing to do, but it was really cool. I had Wes help with a couple of them too. So
We'll link that below.
Everything's there. And I mean, you need some work done, let me know. Podcast, vlogs.
Jacob making them beats at gmail.com.
Yeah. Email them if you want to.
It ain't gonna be this Jacob that reply. It might be a Jacob, but not that
Y'all
one.
work that out. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Shoot, man, for the music or just whatever you're interested in, and just like me personally or whatever, I always be like, I'm an open book, so anybody can pretty much find whatever they want to find with me. If you're on Instagram, it's Wescam_IM, so WESCAM_IM. And man, you'll pretty much find everything from there. I'm on Facebook, Wescam, right? That's who I am. It's my name. So, you can see me in that aspect there. And we got links to music everywhere. So music out, check me out on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever your favorite streaming service is. And it's just upstairs from that. For us, in terms of just, what we got going on with the nonprofit, it is at This Is Our Society. If you're on social media, that's for Twitter, that's for pretty much Facebook, for everything, whatever you use it for, Instagram. And then check out our website, right? THISIS, the letter R, SOCIETY.com. That is thisisourSociety.com.
Right. I was like, we gonna put it in the description bar, but I'm glad he did that because we might have, some.
Hey man, what?
Some challenge.
The beat ain't far, baby. You feel me? I'm outside. It's a little old for it, but I got it. But nah, you can donate. We're always looking for individuals who want to, join us. We go season by season.
Now,
so
can I pose a question?
Absolutely.
Can we work on the age? Can we up the age? Because some of us is more seasoned individuals.
Yeah, we got
we a little older than that. And maybe what if they wanted to help and they want to join? Because I was looking at it, but see, I had seen the 24, and I'm old. I'm about to be 26.
Nah, so we actually got exec board positions open currently. So we got a couple of them. We just actually got a community outreach coordinator, so shout out to him. He'll be debuting soon. Board positions are also open. We're just saying our board positions, please be experienced in what you do, because with the white gloves, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? With some green trim.
If you ain't get your white gloves, don't apply.
You can be young, just be experienced in whatever it is you're saying that you're credible in. But like executive board positions are open, and we're like, clearly I'm not 24, right? Mm-hmm. So depending on the age, it just depends on the time. Like our goal is to get it up running and put money in people's pockets to be able to serve the community in a way where we're trying to be astronomical in what we do. So you know what I'm saying. Please support, donate, or send your child because we don't take care of them.
I love it.
And two very, very important questions.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah.
That I think are very pivotal to how I look at people.
Okay.
Yeah, this is deep. It's a moment here.
I just want to get you know what I mean? I know we haven't been around each other very long, but so I'm still getting to know.
Just long enough to know that you ain't canceled R. Kelly, but that's a different story.
All right.
He's definitely canceled.
On that
And our fans know that. Or I don't want to call them that. Our subscribers know that.
Y'all, don't mind me, y'all. I'm here.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
So
Interesting.
I'm a hungry girl.
But if you had to choose one.
If I had to choose one,
But only because I feel like pancakes are more easy accessible.
Okay.
I would probably say pancakes too.
I'm wrong with y'all.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, because I'm a Waffle House girl.
Pancakes.
But when you travel out,
Because you can cook pancakes well done.
and Waffle House is really a southern thing. And when you go up north and stuff, they don't really have that. They have like IHOP, and it's it. So it's hard to get like a proper waffle. You know, because a lot of places don't make good waffles. The waffles be crunchy and hard. I don't like that. I want my waffles soft and fluffy like a pancake. So, you know, but usually people don't fuck up pancakes. So I say
The syrup
pancakes.
good. I'm gonna eat either way.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end it because I don't want the camera to get hot.
Yes.
You know where to find us. All of our links at
Always down below.
Down below, girl. Y'all know our address.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.